guys, Heidi Easley here from Texas Art and Soul, and I just want to welcome you to the free online webinar called How to Throw a Paint Party. I am so excited you're here, and just to kind of teach you some of my tricks that I've learned along the way throwing paint parties. I feel like it's my goal to really teach people the healing aspects of art. You know, it may think that we're just doing a simple paint party, but I've seen time and time again a beginner person come in doing a paint party, and then they take it to a whole nother level where they've contacted me and said how it helped them through a really trying time or something like that. So I just feel like my whole goal is to not only share the love of art through paint parties, but to teach other people how to throw paint parties so we can reach as many people as possible. It's so important that we take time to put our cell phones down, spend 2 hours communicating with one another, creating something from scratch, and just really being, disconnected from just the craziness of technology. And I know it's kind of weird to say because you're listening to this right now on technology. However, just the opportunity that painting and paint parties and art parties has for people is just so incredible. And today I want to just teach you a few steps that'll help you on your way on how to throw a paint party so that you can maybe make some extra income for your family or maybe do something that you wanted. I've totally quit teaching full-time. Now I do paint parties full-time and I teach other people online. I'm not saying quit your full-time job right now. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying that you can add this in if you want to create an extra income to maybe do a vacation, or you want to buy some extra clothes, or maybe you just need some extra money to pay for groceries. Whatever it is, I can teach you some simple steps on how to do this. So yeah, let's get started. I'm glad you're here. Okay, so quick housekeeping. I want you to put your phones away, unless this is on your phone. I want you to just be present, invest in yourself. You clicked on this video for a reason. So take this few minutes of your time to really learn. Once you learn something, nobody can take that away from you. So really invest in yourself and just be present right now. Maybe take notes if you want, but put your phone away and just be present, unless it's on your phone. Then, of course, keep it out so you can hear it. But try not to answer text, try not to multitask. Just be here learning, and let's get to it. You are in the right place today if you're an artist, a creative person. Maybe you're a maker, a crafter, a teacher, a scrapbooker, jewelry maker, sculptor. Maybe you do wood art, palette signs, art therapist. Basically anyone who loves art or loves the creative process. And also, you know, with a lot of the wood signs I do now, you technically don't even have to be an artist to create some of the wood designs because they're done with vinyl stencils. And that's a whole nother awesome thing that's happened that I've noticed with my business is people love vinyl art signs, and they're really, really fun and easy to teach. So basically anybody who really, has thought about this but hasn't taken that plunge yet, you are in the right place and I can help you. All right, so I want you to grab a pen and a paper and just write this down. What is your driving force behind why you want to teach a paint party? Now, this is really important. It can be whatever it is, be honest with yourself. For example, when I first started teaching paint parties, it was to make extra money to travel with. I love to travel and I love adventure. I love planning trips months and months in advance. It just makes me so happy. And so my whole thing is I'm going to teach full time and I'm going to do paint parties on the side so that I could have whatever money I wanted to travel with. And I remember going to New York City with we did a whole girls trip. We went with my cousins, my mother-in-law, my aunt, and then their kids. And I remember, and my daughter. And I remember the first night we got there, I had paid for the entire thing, all cash, which if you've heard of my story, I went bankruptcy to business owner all before the age of 30. And so it was so cool to actually be able to, we were ice skating. We were in Central Park and it was an awesome night. I didn't even have my jacket on and it was in December. And we were ice skating and I remember stopping to take a picture, and this picture you'll see here. And I remember just being so proud of myself that I had paid for the entire trip, totally cash. Everything that was coming out of my pocket for anything was all totally paid for. And I remember just being so happy and not having that weight of, I'd charge the whole thing, or I couldn't really afford it, or I had to watch what I was going to spend when I went to Wicked. I really wanted this, socks and this jacket that I bought, and I could totally buy it with no issues. My daughter had actually earned money through helping me through paint parties that she could, she's been helping me since she was 6 years old, and she actually earned her own money to save, and I told her I would match what she had. So she came to New York City with over $200 and something and went to the American Girl store in New York City and just had a blast spending all her money. So, so just write down, be honest with yourself. Why do you want that extra money? The reason this is so important is because this will be the driving force. This will be when the times are tough, when it's hard, you'll go, this is why I want to do this, and this is why it's important, and this is worth it for me and my family. So whether it's buying extra groceries, whether it's just helping pay some of the bills, or whether it's, you want to go on a trip, you want to, pay for your kids' camp, you want to do something like that, whatever the driving force is, write that down and put it on a piece of paper. Today I'm going to teach you how to find your customers. Now, this is so important, and you're probably going to be blown away with the amount of information I'm giving you today. But I think it's so important that we know that there is opportunity and abundance everywhere. You just have to look for it. I have a paint party business, not only, I'd say maybe 2 miles from my house, but I am still successful and I still throw paint parties because I approach it a different way. And that's what I'm going to teach you today. Just imagine if you could bring in an extra $1,000 a month throwing paint parties. I know sometimes it might seem like, no, there's no way that could happen, but that could easily happen with just 1 to 2 paint parties a month. Now, this picture you see here, this is, like I told y'all earlier, I love traveling, I love adventure, and this is me and my daughter. We did a road trip, a paint party road trip, I call it, all the way from Texas to South Florida, and did several paint parties on our road trip. We've done this 2 years in a row now, and what it's done is not only, hours and hours of just having that time with my daughter, talking. When you drive somewhere together for over 40 hours in a car, you talk a lot. So just developing that relationship with my daughter. And also what I didn't realize was what a business type person she would start to turn into, which is really cool to see. Just this last week, she was staying up late and she couldn't get to sleep. And the next morning, she brought to me as soon as she woke up her whole list of everything she wanted out of the American Girl magazine and how she was going to earn it and how she wanted to do work to earn $20 a day. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay you $20 a day. But she had all her goals written out and all the things she wanted to accomplish. And I thought it was really cool to see that, she knows that she can work hard and earn something off of that work. And she made tons of money this summer working with me through paint parties. And I think it's cool to see that my 11-year-old is developing a work ethic just from stuff that we're learning and I'm learning and teaching her. So that was kind of an unexpected surprise. And the fact that I could take my paint parties and go anywhere out of state. Even if I have family that I want to visit in Florida, I schedule a paint party so that the whole trip's paid for. So that was an unexpected surprise as well. So what do you want out of this from throwing paint parties? I know you had your pen and your paper earlier and you're writing down kind of why. Now, what is it you specifically want? Do you want an extra $500 a month? Do you want an extra $1,000 a month? How much do you want to make throwing paint parties? When I say paint parties, I also mean art parties. This could be signs that you paint on, wooden signs. This could also be a crazy quilting class. I've known a lady who took this to the next level with quilting. It could be a jewelry making class. Whatever it may be, whatever artsy endeavor you're thinking of, write down how much extra you want to make a month. Now, again, I didn't always do this full time. I was working as a teacher full time. I was learning, how to throw paint parties, and I've made all the mistakes for you so you don't have to. So I'm going to tell you just a quick little story about me and how it got me to this position so you can kind of get a little bit of background onto how that happened. Okay, so a little bit about me. This is a picture of me holding a painting I did that was inspired by one of Tam Laporte from Willowing Arts. Her art things that she does online. She does some amazing art programs online. So I did this painting after I found out I had a hole in my heart. This past August, I actually lost my sight temporarily and ended up, after several tests, they found out I had a mini stroke, and the mini stroke was caused by a hole in my heart, which I did get fixed. I have a device called an implanter put into my heart now. It's like a almost like a metal parachute that's making the heart whole now. So it's kind of like a mesh that my skin will eventually grow over. But it's really crazy all the things that happened, and the way that God's always led me through this art and healing. The reason why I bring this up so much is because the healing part of art is so important to me. This is what drives my whole business on throwing paint parties, is because I know that no matter when times are tough, when we're going through hard times, art can heal. And it is so, so important. Of course, as a Christian, I go to God to, when I pray, and whenever I'm really having hard times, I go to Him anyway just to be thankful. But I think it's so important that He gives us this ability, whether it's singing or painting or drawing or whatever you have, or cooking. He gives us the ability to do something creative, especially when we're having a hard time. And what happened is, whenever I lost my sight, my left eye, actually, I lost vision in my left eye for about 20 to 30 minutes. And then my brain started squeezing in on itself. Well, what happened was I was crying hysterically. I was so scared. And I remember my daughter, I have her represented as the pink bird on the left side of the painting. I remember my daughter just grabbing me, and she just started praying to God, like, please help my mom. It's all going to be okay. And I remember her just being so calm as she prayed out to God while my husband got dressed. It was a Sunday night, and he was rushing me to the emergency room. And so I have her represented as a pink bird holding a cross. And then I have my husband represented as a blue bird on the other shoulder, and he's holding a patched up heart. And the reason why I have him there is, throughout all of that, every test I had to go do, every medical procedure, every time I had to get stuck for those several months of trying to figure out what was going on with me, he was just there for me. And it was so awesome to see his kindness, his love, and being married 20 years, sometimes you don't always see the best of each other throughout 20 years, and just to know that he was there. And I put on the cloak there. It says faith always wins, and I think that's so true. And I think it was just God's blessing to me that He gave me art during that time. I was having such a hard time that I could just go there and paint. And I'm so thankful for Tam Laporte and her wonderful resources she has online. I use her stuff still today, and I love her artwork. And I actually have some of her stuff on my website you can check out as well. Quick question. Have you ever had a feeling of just uncertainty in your life? Have you ever had that feeling, that fearful feeling of what's going to happen next? What am I going to do? What's out there for me? You're not alone, and I just want to tell you that. Another quick thing about me and my family before I go straight into the paint party stuff. We did have a bankruptcy. Now, around 2007, 2008, and I say this not because I'm proud of it. I'm totally not. I was embarrassed, ashamed. I felt totally isolated for many, many years around this topic until I started opening up the past few years. But I just want to give you kind of a background of why I have this passion and this drive to throw these art parties and to spread this to you so that you can throw art parties and kind of, pass along that knowledge of art heals to other people that might not know that that's out there, that that's a way. The reason why is, around that time of bankruptcy, I was really struggling. And again, God led me to use an art to heal. And I started making these little mini surfboards, just kind of, for the comfort of my own sanity. I was just going nuts and I needed to paint. So I started making these surfboards. And at the time I was teaching in Florida. My husband had lost his job. That's how we ended up going bankrupt. We were those people that, we would charge everything we could, and then as soon as the Friday paycheck would come, we would pay everything, all the minimum payments, and then we would go get gas and charge it all up. Before Friday night was over, our paycheck had been spent to credit cards, to our mortgage, to all these things that, we weren't managing our money correctly. And then when the housing market kind of exploded, we ended up, with a job loss, which took away 50% of our income, which meant we couldn't pay our house, and we lost our house, we lost our cars. It was my daughter was, just a year and a half when we lost, maybe a little over a year, when we lost everything. And I remember just this feeling of just isolation. And I started painting. Well, what happened was I didn't realize I was going to take these surfboards to the school. And I had over 850 kids I would teach in my art class. Well, in one day's time, I would see about 150 kids. And I had them sitting there. I was going to work on them during lunch. And about every single kid that walked by would go, Miss Easley, would you please paint my name on a surfboard? Paint my name on a surfboard. Oh my gosh, I've got to have that. And a light bulb went off about after the 100th kid said it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I could probably sell these. I could get my family out of this situation. So fast forward, we end up making these little surfboards. I wrote my family in. I got my mother-in-law, my father-in-law, my husband. We're all making these surfboards, as you can see here. You can see Pixie and I designing at the top right. There's where we would design different things for the surfboards. My daughter on the bottom as well, she would come by and help paint. And there she was just painting solid black over a surfboard. But, we had hand sawed all of these, and then we were going to get ready to sell them. And I thought, man, this is my way out. This is going to work. This has to work. This is all I got left. In my 20s, I didn't realize the possibilities life had to offer. I didn't realize everything that was going to come at us. And so I just had this naive feeling that, okay, this has got to work. This is what's going to get us out. So we set up. What do you do when nobody buys? You go to Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings is always the answer. Anyway, on a serious note, we were sitting there and nobody was buying the surfboards. And my husband says, or actually my mother-in-law says, Heidi, let's go. She had a friend there. She's like, let's go to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'll buy you a drink. And so here I am sitting at the bar at Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm contemplating my future. I'm figuring out, what's plan B. And a few drinks in, I realize, crap, I don't have another plan. Like, this was my plan. What am I going to do? A few more drinks in, this is awful. How am I going to handle this? I just couldn't. I was just so full of emotion. And I remember sitting at that bar just flat on my face, confidence-wise. I had the rug pulled out from under me. I was playing the victim. I was so sad, so scared, so upset. All this time I'd put in, now nobody is buying. And then everything changed. My husband calls, and he's like, Heidi, come back. We have orders. And I'm like, you're lying. There's no way. He's like, we have orders. Get over here now. And so I hang up the phone. My mother-in-law's like, go. And so I go across the street. It was just a quick walk across the street where we had set up. And I remember looking at my husband, and he had this handful of tickets. And we had these paper tickets that we put the orders on. And I remember him just holding those paper tickets up. And there I was, flat on my face on the bottom thinking, there's no way out. And then the look on his eyes like, paint. You need to paint, I remember, just being catapulted to the top and knowing that God had a way out, and not just a way out, but a way out doing something I loved, which is the key thing here. Not only was I going to have a chance to make money and help my family, but also do it in a way that I love, which is painting, which is the way since I was 14 have gone to doing if I needed anything was to paint. So fast forward, we went on to sell over $20,000 worth of surfboards in just 2 months working 3 days a week. I would sit there for 12 hours a day taking orders. I would paint as fast as I could. And granted, this is a person who would take an entire year to paint one painting. Sometimes I would paint 60 surfboards in a night. I knew every single wooden surfboard I handed over to a customer was $20 more cash into my family's future. And I remember I will paint them rain, shine. I would be in the back of my Jeep with a good friend of mine, Allison. We would be painting them in the back of a Jeep, whatever way I could. And that moment, looking at my husband with those tickets going, paint, you need to paint, will forever define my future, because I remember, that flat on my face feeling of total loser, desperate, isolated, to catapulted to the top and knowing that it's all going to be okay. So what is your surfboard story in your life? We all have one. What's that moment? Maybe you're going through it right now. Maybe it's a time that you went through years ago, but you haven't talked about or opened up about. What is that surfboard story for you? All right, so let's go ahead and get started with the information that I'm excited about sharing with y'all today. Okay, so who are paint parties for? Paint parties are for everybody and every age. I have taught ages as young as 3 years old, 2 years old, actually if you consider my daughter 1 year old, all the way up to 99 years old. And of course they can be older if they're there, that's totally fine. But here's what I'm trying to tell you is that people enjoy it. Again, it's not a hardcore art class. This is a fun and exciting, a friendly social event that people can come and easily not feel intimidated by. Now, I'm not here to tell you to quit your 9-to-5 job or your teaching job or whatever you may do to earn your family's income, but I am saying that if you are interested in throwing paint parties or art parties, start adding them in. I worked full-time as a teacher for several years before I knew I could replace my teacher's salary with paint parties. I was, as you just heard, with losing everything and going bankrupt, literally bankrupt like the Monopoly game, I did not want to have to face that again. So with that being said, I made sure I had enough money to replace it. And so whether your goals are just to make a few $100s extra a month, which you'll make way more than that just doing one paint party a month, or making $1,000 a month, or like me, replacing my teacher's salary, whatever it is, you can do with this throwing paint parties. It's totally reachable. Okay, so just a few stats on paint parties. It's a growing trend. I interview people all over the world, artists all over the world, and there's still a lot of people, especially on the West Coast and in other countries, that have still not ever gone to a paint party or heard of a paint party. So if you just Google paint parties, you will find almost 100 million searches just in the Google. It's crazy. Paint parties are for any age, any skill. I still, to this day, as many paint parties as I teach, every single time I do one, I still come across people who have never painted before. So it's still out there. People still have not painted before. And you will get artists in your paint parties. And I love that, because when I see other fellow artists, I love to just see what they go and do, because people have total freedom when they're at these paint parties. Yes, I'm teaching one thing or maybe two things. However, people come up with their own things. And I always tell them that. I'm like, okay, I'm teaching you the Eiffel Tower or the sunflower today, but whatever you decide to paint is totally up to you. And they love having that freedom. And I've also learned that people love glitter. Okay, bring glitter to your parties. Make it stand out. Another thing that's important that I've learned that I want to share with you is you don't need to wait until everything's perfect to get started. Now, some of you may think, oh, I don't have aprons, I don't have easels, I don't have exactly the right kind of paintbrushes. Oh my gosh, when I first started, I couldn't take out a loan, even if I wanted to. I had to make do with the mismatched brushes I had in my art studio, the no easels, which I told my customers, it was better for you to talk and communicate because you could see the people around you. I didn't have aprons for, I think, 2+ years. So things like that you don't have to have when you first start. What you're doing is you're letting resistance and fear get in the way. When you let fear get in the way, it's going to stop you from doing anything and everything you want to accomplish in this life. What I have learned is you have to take action through fear, even when you're scared. And once you do it a few times, then it gets easier and easier each time. Then you can start realizing what kind of impact you can have in the world, what kind of impact you can make on people at a paint party, and what kind of, story you can get across to people and tell them, share with them your love of art, and maybe, just maybe, you help someone through a hard time. One of my favorite quotes, and I just want y'all to hear this, even if you've heard it before, is by Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that frightens us most. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightening about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We are born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. I love that quote so much. And here's a picture of me and my husband. We had just celebrated our 20th wedding anniversary. This was actually on our 20th wedding anniversary. And I love this picture. I feel like it just shows me and my husband perfectly. And I also love it because it shows me confident. It shows me excited to be by him. And I think that, we're all in this world and we're meant to serve and to love others and to choose joy even when times are hard. And I think sometimes we tend to back off because we're scared, we're fearful. And I think that sometimes we have to remember, like, by us not playing small, makes somebody else next to us go, wait, maybe let's try that, or let's do this. So I think it's important that we shine our light no matter what. And I love this picture because I feel like me and my husband are shining our light. We're just laughing, we're having a great time, and I just love that. Also, being on stage, with the picture you saw before and the picture here, I still get scared when I do events that I've never done before. It could be an event that's small, or it could be an event that has, 150 people at it, like the one you see here. But the thing is that I still take action through fear. I find that the more I take action, the more I start to do something that I'm scared of, the better the rewards are. And my goal is to teach a group of 500 people at once, whether that's satellite campuses over a mixture of several campuses, or just one large place. And I know that's coming, and I know I have to hit these bigger groups just to get my feet wet and to know. But I didn't start out that way. I started teaching a few people at a time, 8, 10 people at a time. And then I feel like the more I go out there and the more I teach, the more the opportunities open up. And also you see the opportunities. So that's what I want for you. And you'll notice my little sidekick here, she had her ears on. She had her little cat ears on. And she was so excited to be up there and to show some of the stuff and talk in the microphone. I just loved it. She was having a ball. I also remember one of the early paint parties I did. I was totally terrified. I remember I had every single note written down, and I wanted to make sure I wasn't missing any steps, and I was just, really, really scared. But soon after starting the painting event, I realized that nobody was worried about what I was doing. They were all worried about how they were doing. They were worried about that canvas or that piece of wood. And so that took off a lot of the pressure. Maybe you're thinking now's not the right time. I can tell you now is totally the time. It's always the right time. You can learn anything new if you want to. And you can start out slowly if you want to. You don't have to run out and throw a 200-person painting party to get started. You can start with just a few friends at home. I'm telling you, it is so wonderful. Once you take action and start that, you can create a whole new path for yourself. I had a lady, a sweet, sweet lady. She's in my mentorship program. She came to me I guess it's been a year and a half now, or maybe a little over, and she wanted to know how to throw paint parties. And so I taught her through a mentorship program. And now she does a whole Grateful Hearts project. It is amazing. She takes paintings she's actually painting 100 different heart paintings dedicated to women who she has gratitude for. And it's changing her whole life. And she made the comment to me that, like, Heidi, you have changed the whole path of the course of my life, the direction. And I remember, like, just tearing up, being so happy to hear that, knowing that, oh my gosh, from somebody, throwing paint parties, she's actually turning it into this entire gratitude project, which I just find, with the art healing and the gratitude, it is just so important. So congrats to her, and so thankful that she's in my life. It's not always the most talented who succeed in this world. I am one of those people that I can, say I am not the best artist. I know I'm not the best painter out there. But I also know that, God has given me a gift to share this love of art. And I'm going to do that with people who are interested and who love to paint or want to do the same thing. So sometimes it's not about the most talent. So you can't sit there and compare yourself. Oh, I'm not the best at this, or I can never teach that because I can't do it 100% perfectly. Again, it's not always the most talented who succeed. It's really the ones that take action through fear, and even when you fail, you try again. Okay, so how to find your customers. This is what has separated me from kind of being a sitting duck, and also being able to quit my job teaching full-time so I could do this full-time. Finding your customers is really not that hard. What I like to do is look for places like country clubs, churches, restaurants, basically any type of group where there's a spot where they could already gather. So I don't have to worry about tables and chairs. Also homes. I go to a lot of private homes as well. But here's the tip I want to give you that will really help you stand out. If you find, let's say you're looking for a women's group, okay? Let's say you want to find some type of women's group in your community. You can Google. Google is your best friend. So Google women's groups, and then you find somebody that you can email. The internet gives us so much information. So you can email to that person, just a short email that kind of tells who you are and what you're about. And then you can also put on there, maybe a couple pictures if you've done a few paint parties, or even just, the way they can contact you, how they can find out more about you. And always ask a question at the end. When you ask a question at the end, you have time to talk this week or whatever, it kind of triggers their mind to go, let me respond to this. Or, it's not just a blanket read. You're actually your brain's trying to respond. Now, this has helped me so much. I'm not just a sitting duck. I'm actually reaching out to people and waiting for a response, and sometimes following up with a phone call as well. This has been really successful for me because I can talk to people and tell them what services I offer, and also learn your elevator speech, they call it. Okay, so when I first started doing this, I remember telling a lady at my school, I was trying to tell a lady at my school what I do, and I was jumbled and all over the place. And my mentor, she taught me a confused mind does nothing. And it's so true. So you have to get it down. Basically, I teach step-by-step paintings to large groups, okay? So if you can't communicate that to somebody, they're not going to know they're not going to know what you offer. Another tip is I am always looking at where I'm at. So no matter where we are going, if we're on a family vacation, if we are, taking a trip to the library, I'm always secretly noticing, does this spot have a big enough place to host a paint party? So keep your eyes peeled. You never know what kind of little relationship you can develop, and you can have paint parties in frame shops and pretty much anywhere that has a spot that's big enough to host at least 10 people. And the coolest part too about throwing paint parties is once you've established a relationship and you've done a good job, actually a great job at that location, they're going to want you back. And so that's what's been so awesome is that, now I go to places sometimes 2-3 times a year. And it's kind of neat to develop those relationships over the course of time. And also some of the clubhouses will allow monthly. So in addition to, it's almost like now that I've developed these relationships and these people that love my paint parties, I can go back and it's repeat customers. And that's how you start really building your repeat customers and, ultimately friends that you get to talk to all the time and get to do fun stuff with. Okay, so true happiness. This is why I do what I do. And this lady in the picture here, she's in her 70s and she came to a paint party, but she was actually with a women's retreat and she was only going to take photos of the painting. She was not going to paint. And I kept going around to her and asking her, like, why aren't you painting? And she finally opened up to me and she said that when she was in 3rd grade, she had an art teacher that basically scolded her for how she was doing her art. Which, by the way, any art teachers out there, please don't be that art teacher. It really affects people long term. And so I mentioned to her, I said, you are in a safe place here. I promise you will get nothing but praise and encouragement, if you would paint. So she finally got the nerve up and she decided to paint. And this lady, I am telling you, true happiness. She was literally dancing with her paintbrush as she painted. And at first I was so joyful, but then I was kind of sad because I thought for 60-something years, this lady has not painted and has loved it and wanted to. And she let somebody say something negative that caused her not to do that. Same thing with you. If you're wanting to take action and you want to start throwing paint parties, don't let one little negative thing turn it away. You never know what it could turn into. It might turn into a whole paint party business like myself, or now where I'm teaching people online like you how to throw paint parties. Or it might turn into like Jenny, the 100 Hearts, program, the 100 Hearts project, where now she's using gratitude and spreading that all over. So this is why I do what I do. I love seeing people grow, and I love seeing people maybe do something that they hadn't done in a long time, and it brings them so much joy. I had my perfect job, my dream job. Since I was 14, I wanted to be an elementary art teacher, and I had that. I had the perfect district I wanted to be in. I was teaching in Frisco, ISD. My daughter was going to school there. Really great school district. I was in a great community. But in the pit of my stomach, I just knew I was supposed to do something else. And it kind of made me feel guilty for a while. There was a time period where I did feel guilty, and I thought, I've gotten everything I've asked for and everything I've prayed for and wished for, and now I'm trying to change it. What is wrong with me? It gave me this weird feeling. And then I, came to the conclusion, God doesn't give us, we dream. We have these dreams, and then they come true. Things happen and they come true, and we reach them. We work towards them, and then we reach them. And then what happens is our dream gets bigger. Once we've reached it, we've allowed ourselves to dream this dream. We've reached it. Now we're reaching for something else. And I remember one night, crying to my husband. I had this pit in my stomach, and I just kept saying, I know God wants me to do something more. I know He wants me to do something more. And I just didn't know what at the time. I wasn't sure of what I was supposed to be doing, but I knew there was more out there. And so I challenge you. You can take this information and you can do nothing with it. Nobody's going to know. You can just, put it in your file or whatever you want, or you can take action. So think about it. Think about how much money you would be leaving on the table if you did not throw a paint party or an art party. Not only think about it, but take that piece of paper that we had earlier and write down how much money you think you're leaving on the table. So it could be a few $100s a month. It could be $500 a month. I mean, if you do the minimum of 10 people at $35, you're looking at around $350 just from one party. And that is so easy to do, by the way. You could also do nothing like we talked about before. Or you can use the method that I've showed you here and start to put the pieces together. You will waste valuable time. I'm not going to lie. We are in an information age. There's information overload everywhere. But what I'm telling you here is you can, look through my webinar, look through my stuff, and piece it together and start to do your own. Or you can use this time-tested, proven system that I've put together to join the ranks of entrepreneurs and fast-track your success. In my Art Mentorship Virtual Bootcamp, I teach you step-by-step how to throw paint parties, but I also do a lot of hand-holding, okay? I feel like, I've gone through this whole process for many years now and have learned every mistake the brutal way. And now I can teach you on a much cleaner, straightforward, proven systems path to where you can have success way sooner. A lot of the people who sign up for my Art Mentorship Paint Party Bootcamp actually throw parties within 4 weeks of signing up. So the sky's the limit, guys. There's so much potential and opportunity out there, and I want to make this a fast track to where you can start seeing success immediately. I teach you step by step how to find your customers, which we went over in some short detail earlier, but I go into more detail of exactly templates of what to email your customers and your future customers, your potential customers, also how to respond. I give you exact step-by-step instructions for how to set up, where to buy supplies, the best methods and places to go for your supplies. Also, exactly when and where you get the paint colors, when to put out the paint colors, everything step by step, so that all these little bitty things that you're not sure of are immediately have access to. It's 8 full modules, 8 modules of video that I personally am on and teach you step by step, as well as PDFs along with some homework that each one has, so that you can go at your own pace, okay? This is a self-paced course, so you can go as slow or as fast as you like. You'll also have access to my private Facebook group with over 50 people who I teach all over the world how to throw paint parties. Now, the coolest thing about this is I had no idea when I started an Art Mentorship Facebook group that we would have so much support from the other artists throwing paint parties in the group. So the coolest thing is every day I go in and I check for questions, for encouragement. I do little videos here and there. And I also do a monthly Facebook live call just for our mentorship group. And you get lifetime access to this. So everything that's recorded is saved in this group. And not only do you have me there holding your hand and helping you through, there are so many gracious artists in that group that are usually answering the question before I've even seen it. And it's pretty amazing. It's like you develop these friendships with these other artists all over the world, all over the country, doing the same thing that you are, which is really a cool community to be in. I don't know about you, but when you go to dinner with my family, a lot of times they don't understand what I'm trying to do. They don't understand the bigger picture I see in my mind, the vision I have, and sometimes it's hard to talk to people about that. Another thing, here's a picture of my 10-year-old at the time, but 11-year-old now. If I can teach my 11-year-old to totally take over and throw a party, you can too. Last fall I mentioned when I had the mini stroke and the hole in my heart, there was a time where I had a party set up for about 30-something women, and my voice was completely gone. And she had been to enough parties and helped me set up enough parties that I kind of looked at her with my half-going voice and said, "Are you ready? I need you to teach this party," because it was that night and I was trying to get my voice together and I was just not feeling good. And so she was so excited. She was, really, Mom, really? And so if I can teach my 11-year-old to run a party of 30 plus adult women and do it successfully, I know I can teach you as well. These 8 modules are not only going to give you step-by-step advice on how to throw paint parties to where you can make profit from your very first party, and I'm also going to teach you how to competitively buy supplies, how to represent yourself, kind of brand yourself, and target your audience. I'm going to show you some tips on advertising, how to create marketing materials, and show others that you are the one to go to for paint parties. And there's also an entire module on just art healing. So yeah, there's so much information and so much more that I'm not even sharing here. So if you want to reach out and have questions, I'd love to talk to you on the phone about that. You can always reply to this email and just say, yes, I'd like a quick conversation, and we'll set up a time for like a 20-minute conversation, and I'd love to get you directed in the right path. But the art mentorship program is all about community and helping each other. So not only am I providing tons and tons of resources and direct access to me to where you can ask questions as you feel fit or as you start to get stuck. The main thing I see is, we're in an information world where you can find any and all information you want at any hours of the night. But what you can't find is a community to where if you get stuck, you can come to that community and know exactly what to do. I not only have the Facebook group where I answer questions daily, but I have many times had the people who are in my art mentorship program, virtual boot camp, which again is lifetime access. I've had many times where somebody's texted me and it's just like, Heidi, I need a restart. I need a reboot. I'm, just stuck. I'm not sure where to go. And I am that person. I will take time out and help you get back on the right track. Again, I want you to succeed. By you succeeding is you spreading the word about how art heals and how it can help other people. So I am all about that. So I am here to hold your hand and walk you through this process so that you can be successful. Okay, so I am so excited about the art mentorship program, the virtual boot camp. Now, let's see if this is right for you. This is not right for everybody. So I want to make sure it's a good fit. So I'm going to go through what the modules offer and see if this is something that could benefit you. So in Module 1, I'm going to give you the exact systems. You will basically have access to how I email people to get customers, and you're going to be able to identify your customers and who you want to contact and how you are going to contact them through my simple way to approach clients. I will also show you how to book a party before you even have a painting. So many people think they need this perfect website, they need 100 paintings painted before they ever start, and that is not true. Again, that is just resistance and fear getting in the way. In Module 2, I'm going to show you how to create buzz around your party so you can get signups. I'm also going to show you strategic ways to advertise and several ways that you can advertise for free, and that's without even having a website. I'll show you ways that you can collect your payment before the party to avoid that last minute sign up where they pay with check and then sometimes the check doesn't come through. I will also show you ways to get around the tech problem. Maybe you say, I'm not so techy, I'm not really sure how I can do this. Well, you're in good hands because I can barely send an email, but I've learned a lot of stuff to show you, and I also have ways that can help you so if you're not that techie person. Module 3, we will go into detail about how to brand yourself so that you can make the most of your paint parties. I have spent years developing a system, and I have learned all the mistakes the hard way through many, many years of trial and error. You get to fast forward that process through these modules that you get instant access to. In Module 4, I'm going to show you exactly how to select your supplies, where to buy them, where to purchase them, the exact model number you need, the product number, to save you countless hours and tons of time that you would waste doing it trial by error. You will not believe the list we have and where to get your resources so that you can save the most money and make every single paint party profitable. That is my big thing. I never want to leave a paint party where I haven't made a profit, and that's what I teach you. Module 5 is a really great one because this one I teach you all how to keep your customers coming back and how you can gain additional customers, and the best part, how you can get your customers to refer you to other people. Module 6 is all about work-life balance, time with family, and time to create. I will show you how to reach your goals doing what you love, but also having time to spend with the people you love as you achieve these goals. I remember several years ago, I was teaching full-time and doing paint parties pretty much full-time, and I had such an out of balance where my body physically ached. I remember one day, it was a Sunday afternoon, I was laying on the couch just crying to my husband because my hip was in so much pain and my body was totally breaking down. Well, I've learned to balance that a little better, so I'm here to teach you some strategies so that you cannot have to start that way. You can start in a way where you plan your days. I can teach you even during the busiest times of the year how to schedule that time off so you still have time for your family and time for fun. Module 7, I'm going to teach you how to use social media to streamline your message to your potential customers. Our Facebook and Instagram is our modern day resume, and I'm going to help you with highlighting your strengths so you can engage potential customers through your social media. Now, this is so important because that is what people go to. If they're trying to find out what you're about, they go straight to your social media. Module 8 is all about art heals. I didn't realize the power that I was using art to heal for so many years. But I didn't even realize it till a few years back. Some people use it as a spiritual practice, a meditation practice, even personal growth. But I want to show you how to use your true calling with art. This could be just a catalyst for how you truly serve your clients. I feel I was called to show the beginning painters and those busy moms and women that don't make time for themselves, how they can calm and see this relaxing just this relaxing moment whenever we do paint parties. I just feel so blessed. I get to do this every week with paint parties. And now with you doing paint parties in your area, we have that much more access to spread this message about art healing. I feel like it's my job to love others and show people I care. And the way I do that is with throwing paint parties. You have a deeper purpose. You get to help people, and I promise, you may think it's this simple paint party and it has no merit and it's not that big of a deal, but I promise you people will come up and tell you stories. They will tell you ways that it's helped, just a simple little art class and having some fun together and disconnecting from the cell phone for a few hours, how it can really change. And I've seen people time and time again who have not only emailed me or come up to me at parties and told me things that have happened, or they've started paint parties at their house with their family, or they made a little nook and now they paint weekly, things like that. And these are the things that I'm going to show you that are going to help you stand out from your neighborhood paint party place. There is nothing wrong with those franchises. I love them. That is what has paved the way for people like me and you. And people understand exactly what we're offering because of people like that. However, I want to show you a way to do it where you don't have to take out a $100,000 loan to get a franchise. I want to show you a way to do this so that you make a profit from the very first party that you throw. You're going to get instant access to 8 modules, video modules that has me telling you exactly how to throw paint parties. You'll also get PDFs included with that will help you along the way, kind of take notes throughout, as well as little homework assignments to keep you on track. You're also going to get a private 24-hour Facebook group where I check every single day. So if people have questions, if they need little help, extra help, they can post, and I check daily, usually a few times a day. And the coolest part about that, I think that is the most valuable of this entire mentorship, is I do a monthly call where you can ask me anything. I do a Facebook Live through just our community. And I have over 50 other artists all over the country that are in that community. And the coolest part is not only am I answering questions, but you have people all over that are doing the same exact thing, that are there encouraging you and going through the same process you are. And I think that has been the biggest blessing of all of this, not only meeting these wonderful artists, but I feel like sometimes they're teaching me new things as well as I'm teaching them new things. So that is really awesome. So 3 bonuses to make this just extra sweet for you. I'm going to teach you in bonus number 1 how to make extra money selling art kits at your already scheduled painting parties. It's kind of like a party on top of a party. You make extra money in addition to your paint parties. I'll teach you how I do that. I'll also throw in bonus number 2, which is my Owl in Love painting. So for those of you that are nervous, you're not really sure what to even offer, it's a step-by-step. You get the rights and the steps to exactly how I do my Owl in Love. And that one has been sold hundreds of times. I have taught hundreds and hundreds of people that event. So I know it works well, and I know customers love it. My 3rd bonus for you is palette art signs. I teach you my step-by-step method of how to throw palette art parties, and that is well worth, all of this is well worth over $5,000. Now, I have consistently and successfully thrown paint parties for years now. I have road tested and made every mistake in the book so that your process is streamlined and you don't have to make all these mistakes. I share all of that with you at a fraction of the cost. I've also gone through a year-long coaching program. In addition to all of the other education I have, I've gone through a year-long coaching program, which, by the way, was the best investment I ever made. I spent well over $7,000, close to 10 after it was all said and done, but well over $7,000 on a year-long coaching program with my mentor. And it was the best money I ever spent. And it far outweighed all of my college, nothing against college degrees, but my 4-year college degree was way, way less informative and way less of what I could have used with it. So I am so, so grateful for that. And so I'm going to share so much of what I've learned with you at a fraction of the cost. If you enroll today, you will get all the modules, all 8 modules, access to the private Facebook group. And again, this is instant access to all modules, the Facebook group, all 3 bonuses, and it will fast track your success. You don't have to make all the mistakes I made. So what is your investment? Okay, you will not have to pay what it's worth over $5,000. You will not even have to pay $3,000. Now again, I just spent almost up to $10,000 on a year-long coaching program, a very intense year-long coaching program. And I have to admit, it was some of the best money I have ever spent and invested in myself. Here, I'm offering you a great deal. You will not even have to pay the $997. Your investment is only going to be 12 monthly payments of $30. Or you can pay the amount of, which is $360. If you decide you want to pay the amount in full in one payment, I will give you a 10% discount. So if that's the case, just let me know. For those of y'all that want to do the monthly payment at $30 a month, you can just click on the link below and get started immediately. The ones that want to pay in full with the 10% discount for paying in full, just email me at heidi.easley@yahoo.com and I can get you set up with the correct amount by paying in full. Now again, this is an easy investment, and the reason why I made it so easy is because I want to share the power of art heals. I think it changes people's lives. I know it has always helped me through rough times, and I want to show that to other people. And I know sometimes money can be an objection, and I know that this breaks all those barriers. $30 a month, that's $1 a day to learn a process that can potentially change your life and change the direction of your life. Now, here's one of the people in my paint party mentorship. Her name is Julie, and I just love her and her husband. They are so creative, and she's actually a fellow art teacher. And she says, I started my business after being cut to part-time position. I was able to make back what I lost in my salary through my paint parties. Heidi's mentorship program gave me the confidence I needed to step out and try something new. Being a part of the mentorship group has helped me connect with other artists who are doing the same thing. Their advice and encouragement is invaluable. So let's see if this is a fit for you, like it is for Julie and so many others. Now, go back to your paper that you had written down earlier, your reason for wanting to throw paint parties. Okay, take a look at it. Was it to just earn some extra money? Was it to maybe stop living paycheck to paycheck and have this extra income coming in? Was it just to make a few hundred extra dollars a month? Or maybe you want to make $1,000 a month? Or maybe you eventually, I'm not saying go out and quit your job right now, but maybe you are eventually wanting to do something where you have that time freedom. Whatever it is, think about that moment right now and picture yourself on what it would look like if your life changed. Now, 10 years ago, before I started teaching, I was working in corporate America. I was behind a desk for over 5 years, 12-hour days, on a computer doing spreadsheets. Now, I'm an artsy person, so that did not fit me at all. I look back, over 10 years ago and to where I am today, and it is a totally different life. I wake up, I get to paint. I wake up, I get to talk to awesome people about art. I wake up, I get to paint with cool people and meet new people and have this whole different environment that I created for myself. What do you want your life to look like? What do you want it to be next year? Heck, next month. What do you want it to look like next month? You can start as slow or as fast as you want. Remember, these modules are instant access. So you can go as fast or as slow as you want at your pace, and you have lifetime access. So I would love to help you out. I would love to hold your hand on this art adventure and help you through all of the fear that you have and maybe some of the doubts. So if you are ready to get started today, click below, easy payments, 12 payments of $30 a month, and you get instant access to all modules, the Facebook group, our call we have monthly, which is recorded so you can go back and watch all of them. In addition to several things I have in the files and updates I do on a monthly basis, tons of things and tips I add as I go and as I learn more. So please, guys, click below. I'd love to get you started and kind of getting your art adventure off on the right foot. Now, if you're still unsure, please email me. I am here to talk to you. Again, I do not mind getting on the phone with you. We can schedule a 20-minute call and kind of get you headed in the right direction. I am here so that you can succeed. My life changed when I started throwing art parties. I not only developed this awesome just sense of accomplishment that, I just love knowing that I could go out there and create something and provide for my family. But it also gave me this confidence that is just immeasurable. And I know that, with me helping you and holding your hand, I can help give you that same confidence through throwing art parties. The reason I showed this picture here of me and my husband is, first off, I just want to thank you in advance. My family has just enjoyed helping people and just doing this fun thing together. And so I want to thank you in advance, whether you end up in the mentorship program or not. I know God has a plan for your life, and whatever you decide to do, it's going to work out. I do hope that you'll come along with us and just be a part of this group and let me help you and show you the way and shortcut your track to success. I am so excited to help you get started. So just click below and we will get you signed up today. Again, instant access, lifetime access to 8 modules plus 3 bonuses, and all the information in my Facebook group, as well as me answering questions with you every single day. Again, I cannot wait to see where this art adventure leads, and I am so excited to be a part of it with you. So click below today. Again, the cost is only $30 per month for 12 months, or you can pay in full for $360 with a 10% discount just by emailing me at heidi.easley@yahoo.com. Again, I teach you step by step, so you can be throwing a party in as little as 4 weeks with a profit. One paint party will pay for this entire investment, and then you can repeat the process over and over and over. I am so excited for you, and I am so glad you found this webinar. I hope it was helpful, and I can't wait to get started with you. All right, y'all have a great day. Bye.